everybody looks at me really weirdly, and I'm like, you don't like. I don't know what it is about car speakers, but it highlights little bits in vocals that you wouldn't notice on other speakers, but you do in a car.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I think for my new song coming out soon, I think my producer did 8 drafts, because every time something I noticed that I was like, oh no, that needs changing. I don't like that. That needs changing. Yeah. He probably got annoyed, but
hey, it's your music. Do what you want with it.
he got paid. He got paid. So.
What's the most memorable track you've ever written, and where did the inspiration come from?
That I've written that's released would probably be Embarrassment. It's probably my most memorable one.
And where did the inspiration come from that?
It's quite a sad story, actually. So I remember sitting at my ex's house, and he wanted to go out with his friends and didn't want me to go with him. And I was like, why? And he was like, because I don't. Blah. Didn't really give a reason. And when you feel like it's because someone's embarrassed of you?
Yeah.
And like, it was like he'd never really, like, at the start he would always have me hang out with his friends, and then it was like, well, no, I don't want you to, and things like that. And I was like, why? Like, anyway, it turns out I was wrong, though. It was for different reasons that he didn't want me to hang out with them. It was nothing to do with me. And no, I remember sitting on the sofa, not even with an instrument or anything, and I remember just writing lyrics down of how I felt, and like things that he'd said that had made me feel like I was an embarrassment, because like obviously everybody has good bits in relationship, bad bits, but obviously the bad things will always stick with you more than the good, because that's just how a human brain is wired. And it was like the stuff that he'd ever said about like my appearance and things like that, it stuck with me. And it was like I just started writing, and then I remember going back to uni, sitting with a guitar and like writing a rough idea of what I wanted. And then my vocal producer actually lived in the house opposite with a guitarist and a drummer, and I took the song over to them, and I was like, can you like help on this, please? And then I played them the song. The guitarist came up with a good guitar riff and melody, and then we took it into the studio. Tom, who was the drummer, came up with all the drum beat. We recorded it all, and then my vocal producer Ed added in some violin synths, and obviously recorded the whole track, mixed it, mastered everything. It all just came together. But yeah, no, that's definitely my most memorable track. But I think it's because it's such a personally close one to me.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, it is one of the most vulnerable songs I've ever written.
Yeah. That takes a lot of encouragement to do that, to write about what's been bothering you, because every song that you hear from every artist, you can actually sense the person's feelings, their emotions, their mental state through the track. One singer, for example, I would say the late great Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, you could actually feel his frustration, his rage through his vocals when he could hit them high notes, and may he rest in peace. When he could hit those high notes, you could actually sense that's a lot of years of rage and aggression built up in him from all the abuse he went through. Because I read his autobiography, and what he went through was really astonishing. It's like it's quite
It's like, because I remember going to the studio to record Embarrassment, and my producer went, he was like, "You're not feeling it." He was like, "I can vocally hear you're not you're not giving me the emotion.
Yeah.
He was like, you've got to have the emotion. And then I remember we spoke about the track, and I remember crying, and then he was like, now record it. He was like, now we're going to record it. And then that's when all the emotion actually came out whilst recording the track.
Wow.
But
Okay.
it's one of those things where you got to feel the song.
That is true.
And like, it's always like I always say, my songs are kind of like my own personal diary. I've never written a diary. I'm not that person. Wouldn't do it. But for me, songwriting is my own personal diary. Like, that's where everything that I need to gets vented out. Or if I'm in a good mood, like, don't get me wrong, I do write good songs. Like, the next song I've got coming out is a good mood song.
Yeah.
It's the new song I've got coming. That is my favorite. It's my favorite song I've ever written. Like, it's like my baby. I'm proud of it. I showed it to someone who's experienced in the industry, and he's heard all my other music, and he was like, that's the song.
That's the song, yeah.
It was like that's it. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, because when you hear that, when you say that's basically what they're saying. That is the best work you've ever done. It's like, for example, when you see an actor who's gone from one terrible role to a really good role to the best role they've ever done. They are, every artist, every performance artist says that they are waiting for that one line. That is the best work you've ever done. It gives them that more encouragement to do something even better on top of that, because they feel like they've achieved something great. Now it's time to go achieve way further.
It's like, people don't tend to realize, though, like, some of the closest people to me are the most critical people you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah,
like, but that's because they not expect you, but they want you to do better. They're trying to bring the best out of you, but they do it in the tough love way.
Yeah.
And I remember sending it to the two people that, like, the two that I thought would be the most critical, and be like, nah, scrap it. Like, you need to work on this. This sounds awful, blah, blah, blah. Both of them couldn't fault it. And I was like, if you can't fault this,
I
was like, that's it. I was like, I've got it.
Oh. Sometimes the best thing to always do is don't let it get to you too much, because you're the one putting in all the effort there, and you need to get that result. I mean, one story I read about was, and the one person who inspired me the most, wrote a script in 3 days, and they weren't allowing him to sell it until he wouldn't sell it to a studio until they allowed him to star in it. But what he said about it was absolutely amazing. He goes, I feel like I've created a tailor-made suit for myself. I'd be so badly hurt if I saw somebody walking down the street wearing my suit when that suit was made for me. Even though they offered him nearly 380,000 top limit they'd gone to sell the script, and it was like, I'm not going to sell it. And they're like, you crazy turning down that kind of money? He goes, no, it's not crazy, because if you haven't had that kind of money in your possession in your entire life, why would I miss something that I've never had in my possession? I really like that. I really like that. That was like one of the best, wisest piece of advice you'd ever have. You're not going to miss anything that was never in your possession in the first place.
100%. Because I remember saying to a publisher when they said the song was great, I was like, well, should I sell it to a label? And they went, no, don't do that. They were like, keep it. That's yours.
Yeah.
They were like, that's your best work. Don't sell that away. Don't give up on that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And well, yeah, so why give up something that you've worked so hard for? And because at the end of the day, it's your work. It's like, for example, you revise so much for exams, you're sitting there doing the exam, and at the end of the day, somebody else got the grade for your hard work. Why? That's unexplainable. Why are they getting the credit for your hard work?
Yeah.